Against the ropes, number one.
He get out of his contract, his Don King contract.
Jeez.
You got popcorn?
You want to really know? All right. So,
First of all, congrats.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Right? That's why I'm called the magician. Nobody gets out of that.
Real talk.
Yeah. So, I gotta tell you a story in order for you to understand this story. So I was living in Vegas.
I'm gonna close my eyes.
Right. I'm gonna put you there. I'm a good storyteller. So I'm living in Vegas, and I was signed with this promoter named Murad Muhammad. Murad Muhammad went and found Pacquiao from the Philippines. So I'm signed with him. I'm sitting in this apartment with this guy named Jihad at the time, this Muslim guy I was training with. My mother told me, what's his name? Murad Muhammad. His lawyer's coming to your house with a suitcase with $50,000 in it. Don't take the suitcase, because you take the suitcase, it makes the contract's back in the game. Right, and he already violated the contract by like a year and a half.
How old are you at this point?
I was probably, I was like 19, I think, 18. I had just signed.
You're going to tell a 19-year-old not to take $50K?
Well, here's the thing, though, man. Like, you know.
That's crazy.
It's off topic, but our generation, you have to respect authority. That's why a lot of crazy shit's happening.
Interesting.
It starts in the home. If you don't respect your mom, you're not going to respect a random person.
That's true.
That's a whole nother topic. But
Right.
we're sitting there, and she was like, whatever you do, don't take the suitcase, son. Just please don't. I said, I got you. I ain't going to take it. So open the door up. It appears to be a white man, but he's like Jewish and black. And he's like from New York. He's like, hey, Anthony, I got this suitcase for you. You know, you need to take it, man. You know, I just sign this paperwork. I'll go on about my way. You have a good day.
What movie is this?
No, that's how guys talk, you know, New York guy. Yeah. So my mother told me not to talk to you, not to sign nothing. I was like, I got something for you. Right? So I reached in my pocket, and then I pull out my middle finger. And I slammed the door in his face. What? I come home. My mom's like, hey, I found somebody who wants to invest in you, wants to sign you. I'm like, all right. So I come home, open the door up, and he's sitting on my couch.
Wow.
The lawyer. So I'm like, what the hell is he doing here? She was like, he wants to invest in you, sign you. I said, yes, the man you told me to stay away from. Did you just bring him in the damn house? Like, what? So I was like, what are you doing here? And he says, well, you know, I've worked with a lot of people. And he says, I like the fact that you listen. He said, a lot of fighters don't listen, especially in your position. When they're hungry, they bite at whatever you give them. So my manager, his name is Kevin Wynn. He ran Madison Square Garden. He was CEO for Madison Square Garden. Worked with Emmanuel Stewart. He was his lawyer, Venus and Serena Williams. He's been around for years. My manager was Don King's lawyer, right? They got into something about the 90s, and Don King fired him, right? So Don King offered me a contract. He told me I can come up there and, you know, come to Florida and sign this contract. I'm like, okay, let's go. Can I bring my manager and my lawyer to read the contract? He's like, yeah, that's cool. My lawyer curated this Don King contract that everybody's been signing for years back in like 90 or 91.
Copy paste.
But he didn't know that my manager lawyer was his former manager lawyer. Yeah. So when we get in there, I'm like, yeah, I'm here now. I'm about to come up. When he comes in, he shits his pants, dog. When he sees my manager's Kevin Wynn, he says, what the fuck? He says, you pulled a quick one on me. He pulls his cigar, puts his mouth, lights it, and he's sitting there just looking. So we're talking to him, but I don't think he's hearing nothing we're saying because he's just looking at my manager's like, you motherfucker, you got me. So we're sitting there, and he hands us this contract. And my manager picks it up, he rips it, and he says, I created this contract 15 years ago. I'm going to create a new one so you can't fuck my boy.
Wow.
Right? So we created this new contract, and a lot of contracts, man, you don't understand how much the word if, given, it's just like little words in there. It changes the whole contract.
Liquid. It's not solid.
It changes the whole contract. So we created our own contract. And, you know, we had clauses in there where I can get the contract if he doesn't, you know, give me this certain amount of fights, this and that. We ain't even have to go to court. So that's how I got out. So people to this day, how'd you get out? And I say, well, I got out because I used Don King's poison against him. I went and got his lawyer. His lawyer got me, and we went back and we got him, you know, at his own game. Damn. So that's how I got out.
It's those little words that had Mike Tyson tied up.
Man, little words, dog. You know, a lot of times it's hard to look at it that way. Like, you know, you look at Don King being a bad person, and, you know, Don King may be the brains and stuff, but he's not the one that creates it. Well, he's the brains, you know, he's the face, but he's not the one that creates, you know, contract word by word. And a lot of these fighters, you know, they come in, they're arrogant, and excuse my language, they're assholes, and they don't want to be told anything. My manager told me, he's like, I told these guys, look, man, take a portion of your signing bonus, buy your lawyer. Look at this contract. Take this, put this away, buy a house, invest in the business. put your money away, put it in a trust fund, whatever the case is. They don't want to listen.
Yeah, they want to live fast. They want to live the now.
Think about you guys at 21. Someone told you, don't do this and this. You're be like, I'm on top of the road. You can't tell me what to do. I got $2 million in my pocket. You can't tell me anything. I just pulled up in a Lambo. You can't tell. You can't tell in this generation. You can't tell kids anything. Yeah. They don't respect authority, and it starts in the home. So, I listen, man, and it saved me a lot of headaches I could have had. Not to say I didn't have any. Absolutely. I mean, if you live long enough, you're gonna go through some shit.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
That's the thing with boxing, right? I tell the guys, like, it's like the Wild Wild West. There's no rules at all.
There's no rules. Yeah. Anything goes. But I mean, that's a curse and a blessing. It's like free will. It's a curse and a blessing. You can, make or break. You can create your life, or you can be the end of your own. You can be your own doom. It just depends on which way you want to go. Yeah.
The dark side of boxing, right?
It's the dark side of boxing, man. I say it's the unspoken side, and a lot of fighters are affected by this at the end of their career. Like I said, when you sign, you're not signing for what you see right now. You're signing for what you shall see or what you will see. When you finish boxing, what you got? There's no health benefits.
Yeah,
right.
That's something.
You ain't gonna be able to go see the dentist and stuff like that. We joke a lot. A lot of old fighters from the '80s, most of them don't have any teeth. It's not because they got hit in the mouth, but you don't have all these benefits unless you have a good wife or a good, somebody like that. Most of the time you don't, because you're just going through them. Money's coming. Forget her. I get this. I mean, you don't see too many fighters who stuck with the same person they came up with. You don't. And then when boxing's over and you're old and you're beat down and you're busted and all the money's gone and all the friends is gone and all the parties and all the girls, and what you left with? Nothing but a legacy.
Yep. And
legacy don't pay your bills or help you live any longer.
Man, like, are you sure you're 23, bro? Man.
Well, I mean, hey, man, like,
we're all older than you, right?
We're
even if we look younger.
Even him.
How old do you think I am?
Him.
I think he's old as well.
Yeah. How old do you think I am?
You 29.
28.
Okay. 27.
6.
27.
28.
You're 13.
Really?
That's cool, man.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about what happens inside the ring. Like, when you prepare for a fight, let's say, what does your typical day look like when you're preparing for a fight? Like, paint the picture.
If I told you, I had to kill you. No, I mean, preparing for a fight, like the
I
day
do it
of the
for
fight.
show.
Yeah, do it for the show. The day of the fight.
No, just like your typical day. Like,
is there like a routine that you have?
I mean, I do, but like most fighters, everybody's different. I'm superstitious, man. So like, I won't change anything. I'll do everything the same way.
That's why you still wear the same shoes?
What do you mean?
Like the same style?
Come again?
Of the past 2 fights?
No, man, I actually like Cortez's, dog, and I'm not about to change it. I mean, I'm comfortable with it. I just, I really like them. They're comfortable. They're my running shoes. I jump rope in them.
You don't get banged on?
No, homie, I'm actually cool. It's cool.
I like those little tassels they have on your.
Absolutely.
They're cute.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
They're cute. Excuse me.
That reminds me a little bit of a polo.
I'm gonna see you after this, Vato. Yeah, but
we're not gonna fight virtually.
Yeah, you know that new Creed virtual reality game?
No.
The boxing game?
No, but I know the director. I'm with him every day. Antoine Fuqua, yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I was talking. I was like, man, that Creed movie sucks.
Oh,
I didn't know.
Do people tell you that you're like the real life Creed?
I mean, I've been hearing that. He actually told me he's gonna put. Well, this is a secret, right? Yeah. He's thinking about it, but he's thinking about putting Southpaw and Creed against each other in the movie. Yeah.
Oh,
that'd be dope, right? He said he's thinking about it. He's just in the air.
That's like what, like the light heavy? Yeah, that's.
I mean, I don't know. But I'm just saying, but they some real life Creed, man. I guess. I mean,
I'm so confused.
So I guess you're not in Creed too. Then.
So
I haven't watched it. I'm
know.
gonna watch it tomorrow.
You don't know why they're comparing him to Creed?
It was too late.
Oh no, I get that.
Yeah, it was too late. But somebody another movie. But yeah, I'm with him every day. I didn't know. I was like, who's this black guy? I'm seeing it every day. And I was talking about the Creed movie. He was like, you think it's crappy? I'm like, yeah. He's like, why? I was like, well, first of all, ain't nobody gonna be running down the street with dirt bikes. Like, we don't run that fast. And it's Philly. It's uphill. Like, what? I was like, second of all, the hand pass. And
I feel like I should
sloppy.
take my. He
hasn't seen Creed 2, so.
Oh yeah, he hasn't seen.
That was cool. I mean, like, that's just one part, but he was like, appreciate it. And then me and my coach was talking. He was like, yeah, you see the director of Creed in here? And I was like, where? He's like, he made Training Day, Equalizer movie. I was like, who? He's like, him. I was like, bro, shut up.
Hey, you lost that role, bro.
Yeah.
So Anthony, are you a big Rocky movie fan?
No, man.
No.
I feel like it's like
he's 23, man.
I don't like boxing movies because I don't feel like they're real. You can't smash.
Dude, I feel the same way.
You
I
feel
feel
me?
the same way.
You can't smash. I say 17, 18 years of somebody's life into a movie. You can't capture the ups and downs and the emotions and the pain and the suffering into one movie. It's not like that. It's not like, you know, you have this big victory fight and then everything goes away. A lot of times,
and then the actual action doesn't look very realistic.
No, it's not, man.
I bet you'd be like, man, look at that right hook.
The worst part is the storyline. I hate to say it, but majority of boxers, the top fighters, we go out on our shield, which means we go out the ring not the same.
Yeah.
You know, only a few of them did, but, you know, everybody pays the price. Sugar Ray Leonard lost his eye. Ali, you know, I can't think of the Parkinson's. Yeah. You know, Marvin Hagler got out in time, became an actor. Mike Tyson, you know, his image. You know, people looked at him as a crazy killer, biting the ears off instead. Everybody, the boxing, when you leave, a piece of you stays in it.
Yeah. That's why here when I use the B word, we think it's very disrespectful, and anybody that jumps in that ring, they're losing a little bit of themselves.
Absolutely. I mean, it takes heart to get in there, man. Whether you believe it or not, I feel like it's the closest feeling I've come towards death. There's no feeling like I say like that. Not even the nerves that kill you, let alone not the night of the fight, but the day before the fight. I mean, you're challenging another man. Yeah. Face-offs, you know, wrap your hands, and just to keep the cool and keep the calmness. Yeah. You know.
Anthony, I saw in one of your interviews that you're in no rush.
No.
To get to the top.
Not at all.
How do you?
Shouldn't.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I feel like I use like a lot of examples, or you call them personification, whatever the case is. I feel like it's like drinking alcohol. Now, I'm not a big drinker, nothing like that, but you can't handle whiskey at 13. You have to grow into it. Yeah. You know, your beard comes, your voice gets deeper, you start growing, you get more mature, you get a taste for it. Same way with boxing. You can't rush this, because once you get there, you realize, man, I can't really handle this whiskey like that. You know, it's not what I thought it would be. Oh man, I'm tore up. You know, same way with boxing. You gotta take your time. And then the big boxers, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, these guys, they just once, you know, they didn't just go right to the top. You know, it took a while for you to hear about them. You have to build up to this. There's levels to it. You know, people say start from the bottom, now we're here. No, start from the bottom. Then you got the next step and the next step, and you're not even there yet. Then you got to keep going, and you still won't reach the top. It's I just don't know why people rush to get. You know, you're in a rush to get there for what? Because once you get there, you can't go nowhere but there.
Yeah, that's the peak, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like that. I mean, I want to take my time, and when it's time for me to get there, I'm there, and I won't be there for too long. It's like a pencil. You sharpen it too much, it breaks.
You said 25, 26 is like you feel like your peak. And
I see my peak. Absolutely. I feel like I'll be, 25, 26, maybe 30. You know, in the Bible it says that Jesus become a full-grown man until he was 30. So as a heavyweight or a cruiserweight, maybe at 30 years old, maybe. And I feel like the closer I get to that age, but 25, 26, I feel like, you know, that's a decent age, power and strength and my mental. But I'm not in a rush, man. I'm not.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years? I feel like I'll be married, have kids. I feel like I'll probably be giving talks around the world, dog, to be honest. Like,
I see you.
I really feel like, you know, that's what I'll be doing. And I'll be speaking on, I call it the topic, I call it the unspoken. Topics people won't speak about because it crushes your reputation. Whether, like, okay, I'm going to give you guys a spill. My next talk, I'm going to talk with Coogan, my next fight. I'm going to talk to him about, you know, people being judgmental towards people that like the same sex. Do I agree with it? Do I disagree with it? It's not about that. It's about loving your brother and your sister as you want to be treated. You know, you ain't got to respect their beliefs. To each his own. But you don't disrespect them because they're not your beliefs. No, don't force it on me. I won't force my beliefs on you. But just a respect. People won't speak on that because they get tied up in the whole, you know, rights and this and that. It's not about that. It's just showing love to people just because they're people. They're human beings. So I feel like that's my purpose. A lot of people won't go and speak on them terms, but me, hell, if I don't do it, who else will? Who will speak on mental illness? You know,
anybody that's actually listening to this right now, whatever. His question was, where do you see yourself in 5 years, right? Yeah. And I think anybody that will listen to it is like, okay, I'll probably be at heavyweight. Like, you, no. You completely said stuff that's not even boxing related at all. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to get at. You're completely different from like any other original boxer.
That's how we first started paying attention to him, right? At that post-fight interview. Yeah. When they asked you about your fight, and you started talking about
like, hold on, I was stuttering real bad, man. I can't help it. My girl played with me about it a lot, but absolutely bringing awareness, man. You don't understand. You just opening your mouth. You can make or break somebody's spirit just by opening your mouth.
And you know, on that interview too that you mentioned, you talk about our culture not having like a lot of positive things, right?
Absolutely.
Like if you listen to music or watch TV, it's all about drugs, parties, guns, violence. So what like made you want to, like, can you expand on that? What makes you want to talk about that? Because I feel like because I feel like a lot of people our age especially don't talk about it.
It's much more of like your experiences has shaped who you are, right?
Absolutely. I feel like when you get caught in the hype, you believe the hype. That's all you see, then you'll believe it. You know, soap operas and the shows, people watching, Kardashians, and then the music you're listening to, you really think that's true. People aren't sipping embalming fluid and popping perks like that, because if you know what that does to you, you die. Yeah. And people aren't doing, hitting licks and gangster this, gangster that. I was always told gangsters don't live that long. Yeah. Either locked up or they're no longer living. Like I said, I want to speak on it, and I'm talking about this as far as, to answer your question. What made me talk about it is because you look around and all you see is negative. Not necessarily so bad. I mean, Hispanic culture, I feel like it's better. You guys got music, bachata, dancing. But I mean, you do. Yeah. You have culture. You have, you guys have, traditions that won't change, quinceañeras, things like that. You think about African Americans, do we have that? No. The closest thing we had to probably was like barbecues in the 90s or family events, getting together, Christmas, Thanksgiving. But the main part is, I feel like this tearing us apart is phones, social media. A lot of together time that we had is not there anymore. Just sitting and talking, just being a family. We don't have that, so everybody's doing their own thing, and they're becoming what they see. You see something long enough, you'll believe it.
And I tell these guys all the time, that's why I don't watch TV, because like you said, a lot of stuff you watch is just negative.
It is crazy. Did I answer your question all the way?
Yeah, you did.
It's just negative.
But I just feel like it's important for people like us. We're all in our 20s, right? Yeah. But I feel like not enough people talk about that.
No. Like I said, I don't think I'm great or anything of that sort, but if one person, I say just one person, can almost conquer this world, destroy it, just wiping out countries and almost race, Hitler. If like another person can make it a better place. Ali did that. I mean, he talked to people from different, ethnic backgrounds, heritage, beliefs, religions. He talked about things people wouldn't talk about. Civil rights. That was big. That was really big. But just speaking, just being a voice for the people. I say not just the people, but the unspoken. So many people that want to talk and come out and say things. Whatever the case is, I'm dealing with mental illness. I'm depressed. I have anxiety, or I'm in an identity crisis of who I am. I don't know if I'm a man that likes man or a woman that likes woman. Or I'm dealing with the crisis of I'm black and Hispanic, and I live in California. I don't know to identify with the Hispanic side or the black side, which that's tough coming up as a teenager in high school. I don't know if I fit in this clique or this clique. Yeah. These are things that we all dealt with and felt as kids. And the ones that didn't deal with it, they won't speak on it. Like I said, if you've been to hell and came back, or if you've been to that place and came back, whether it was an addiction, drugs, whatever the case is, went to rehab and came back, which a lot of people don't do, or, you've been to that dark place, gangbang, whatever the case is, you should speak on it.
Yeah, I feel like especially in boxing, we don't really see that. Like even since Ali, I think. No. Because who are the biggest faces in boxing recently?
The biggest faces don't have the voices.
Floyd, he was locked up for domestic abuse.
Don't get me started on that, man. Yeah.
Even like Pacquiao, he's a center and everything, but they talk about his vices, his tax stuff, whatever. Like most boxers have like a lot of negative stuff, and we joke around like cocaine all stars, like Oscar De La Hoya and Julio Cesar Chavez. But people kind of ignore that. So I think that's why it's so important for you. It's like refreshing, especially in boxing, just as an athlete in general.
I appreciate it, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like I talked to my last interview about there's a book by Rick Warren called Purpose Driven Life. And then he says, do you know your life is not about you? Well, he said, what is your purpose on earth? And he says, do you know your life is not about you, right? And he says, if your life is not about you, then who's it about? When you find out that, that the answer to that question, then you find out your purpose in life. So I feel like a lot of people don't realize your life isn't your own. It's not about you, let alone it's a gift, which means you don't own it. Whether you believe in Jesus Christ or Allah or, Buddhism or Hinduism, whatever the case is, to each his own.
Let me see your ID, man.
My ID, whatever. But I mean, really, your life isn't. It's not about you. It's about serving one another and helping, loving your brother, whatever the case is. So that's what I'm doing.
Usually when I hear athletes being involved in like political or social issues, like there's a brand next to it.
Absolutely. There's a reason why they're talking about it.
That's what I'm saying. In this case, what are your brands right now?
My brands? None. There's nobody backing me, Adidas or
I'm
Nike
not surprised.
or something. I'm speaking for it. And I mean, they'll probably hop right on board when they realize, okay, he's very diverse and he can speak to all cultures. This is great. But I mean, that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing it because of.
That's who you are.
I say, yeah, my brand is my family. I have people in my family like that. I have a set of twin uncles. One is, like, and excuse my language if I use the wrong terminology, but he's homosexual. He likes men. He's gay, whatever the case you want to call it. He likes men. The other one, he can't stand to be around people that like the same sex. He can't deal with it. So I dealt with being around. I've seen this firsthand. Or aggressive uncles, domestic violence, or a depressed coach dealing with post-traumatic disorder, stress disorder, from being in wars and seeing that, seeing killings and just being messed up and not being able to talk about it. I've seen this firsthand. Or just like, I say the people that play the biggest part, I say sometimes in my life, are the black sheep, alcoholics, dope heads, homeless cats, because they told me exactly what not to be, and they were an example of what not to be. And they told me their stories of how they got there and what I shouldn't be. So I see it firsthand. It's just not, don't do this. That's one thing. But if somebody shows you, you see why you shouldn't do this. Like, I walk outside and see it every day. I'm around it. I'm around alcoholics and people that deal with depression and anxiety and identity crisis. I become it. So not necessarily I've been there and I've done it, but damn, now I feel like it's like watching a movie. You weren't there creating a movie. You're not there, but you feel like you're part of it. So I mean, that's like all these things I feel like I've been a part of. I've seen it firsthand from friends being touched and molested, or from friends being depressed, or suicide, whatever the case was. I've seen it. I've dealt with it firsthand, and a lot of people, they're gonna tell me, don't speak on it, don't do this, don't do that. And I'm not taking sides. I'm just telling it like it is. If I don't speak on it, literally, if I don't speak on it, who will? Can you tell me one person who will speak on it? And not from a biased standpoint.
Right.
Everything I say isn't biased. Everything I say is love and positivity and understanding and the mutual respect. I'm not telling you to agree or disagree. Yeah. You feel me?
Oh, yeah, that's so true. But Anthony, you talked on the cell phone usage.
Yeah.
I remember, like, before when there was no cell phone usage, like, you'd be at a bus stop and it'd be easy to talk to people, but now everybody's still so disconnected.
Absolutely. I mean, disconnected headphones. I'm on my phone, but, I'm around people. I try to put my phone away because, I mean, conversation, rules of nation, dog. Opening your mouth, I say, can break or make somebody's day. How many people you realize you have something in common with or might be related to or know the same people by opening your mouth or being aware. A lot of people, I feel like, I hate to say, drive-bys and things of that sort, car accidents and things, crazy stuff happening. You're so busy recording it or in your phone, you don't realize it's even happening. Yeah. Or just not being aware of your surroundings. I got robbed. What were you doing? I was on my phone. That's why. Car accidents, just whole type of crazy stuff. But I say the main part is, I was talking to my mom. My mom says, I feel like a lot of people won't find love. And I say, well, why you say that? She said, because the person they're going to be with is going to walk right past them and not going to see them because they're going to be on their phone, on Instagram.
That's true.
Or on their phone doing this.
That's the thing with, like, social media, right? You're comparing yourself to the world.
Yep.
Instead of the people around you. And the thing is with that is, how is that when it comes down to being an athlete, right? Because you're seeing different athletes in different worlds where you can watch an instant, like somebody training on YouTube. Like, how different is that? Like, you being a boxer compared to how it was probably like in the 80s and 70s, isn't it much more harder now? Like,
I say it'd be more harder to. It's harder to market yourself. I feel like it was better for the athletes because the athletes were actually out there with the people talking to them. That's how they had to market themselves. They're out there with the people got to know them, not just doing interviews on Instagram.
Right.
A lot of people, they have so many followers, people won't even, they would hesitate to even try to talk
acknowledge
to them.
Yeah. Yes. And you do.
Yeah, I do. Like, people like, I can't believe you even messaged me back. Yeah. Like, you're a celebrity. I'm like, dog, I'm at home watching SpongeBob.
That shit's hilarious.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.